Hello and welcome back. I'm going to do a short video today. We're just going to clean up our code from last time. So, not going to do anything new, just clean up. So, let's see, where were we? So let me create a to-do list right here. So, what do we want to clean up? First of all, basically, I want to start using the constants that these constants that we have in the init function. I want to use them everywhere in our code. I think right now it's not quite consistent, and we have some constants that we can refactor out to init. So it will be a bit more clean. What else? Collision detection. I think last time we saw some bugs. So I want to, again, just clean up that code, rewrite it a little bit, and really make sure that it just works perfectly. And then I want to fix the power transmission code. So this is the last thing we did in a previous video. We now have these objects that can transmit power from a power source. We're just iterating through the entire map and kind of propagating this power, but as we saw, there is this bug where in a single frame we can propagate the power further than kind of one step at a time. And there's a few things, there's a few ways we can fix it, and I'll talk about it when we get there. Power transmission. Let's look for our code. Is there anything else? Maybe just some general refactoring, just moving things into their own functions, make things a bit cleaner. But I think this is a good start. So constants. Okay, let's do it. Things like 127.31. That's these are kind of constants that just come from the PICO-8 editor, so I'm not sure we need to refactor them. Actually, no. Let's do it. Let's see. So player game. So we have map width 128, map height is 32. Map width -1, map height -1. All right. For our update, moving the player. Oh, okay. This is okay. Yeah, this is when we get to collision. This is something to remember. I want to allow faster X speed. Right now we're moving 1 pixel at a time. Definitely at some point we'll be moving faster than that. So let's see, something like speed X. Let's do 1. So speed X. read X. Great, jump strength is already a constant. Pushing down 1. It's checking if we can jump. Build index. Oh, and yeah, I want to change the build buttons. Build buttons. And I'll talk more about that when we get there. Okay, so this is our maximum velocity. So let's call it max speed down. It's 3. That's capped. Some collision stuff. 8, I'm definitely not going to change that. That's just, it's just such a basic constant. I think it would get more annoying if we actually had a constant for it rather than just using 8. Just 8 pixels per sprite per map cell. This is just something that's kind of baked into the heart of PICO-8 editor. It's PICO-8. Okay, so let's see, where else? Any other constants? Fget 0. Yeah, Fget 0, that's a flag. That's our collision flag. I think, yeah, Fget 0 right here. So anytime we use Fget, we should be using a flag. And collision here as well. Okay, I think those are all Fgets that we missed, so let's keep going. Get 0. Collision, right? Yeah, collision. Dun, 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 dun. Collision. Stones. Set 0. And we can use the map constants here. Map width -1. Map height -1. Actually, something I'm not 100% sure about Lua. For loop. Does it go when we say like 0 comma, let's say map width? Does it go? Does it kind of include that last variable, or does it not? Not very helpful. Okay, so 1 comma 3 will print all these names. So indeed, the number after the comma will be part of the for loop. So we do need -1. Okay. Great. So here we already started using the flags. Wonderful. All right. See anything here? -64. Again, 64 here is half of the screen dimension. So it's kind of, again, just hard coded into PICO-8. So I think it's okay to just use numbers there. Print, right. Okay. All right. Pretty happy with this. So done. Okay. Easy peasy. Let's just run to make sure. Oh, here's another thing I wanted to fix. The jumping, or I guess the camera tracking specifically. Because right now, like when we jump here, it's great, right? Like the camera doesn't jerk around. When we jump here, the camera is way too jerky. So we want to fix that. Let's do it right now. We have a new to-do item, number 1, fix the camera. So what do we want to do? So let's get a new picture going. So as we move around the map, let's say we're here, and then we go up here. What we want is the camera to stay, on the same y-axis, on the same y value. But at some point, let's say we're climbing some rocks. Maybe here we still want the camera to be at the same location, but then here, right? So now we climbed up all the way here. Now we kind of want to see what's above us. So we want to shift the camera upwards. But if we shift it upwards, and then the person starts going down, we don't want to immediately move camera down. So what do I mean by that? Let's draw this. So let's say when the person climbs up there, what we want to do is move the camera right there. So the camera moves up a little. We see more at the top, less at the bottom. But now if the player moves down, so let's say the player goes down here, we still want to use the ink camera space, right? I think that's right. We'll have to see how it feels, of course, but I think that's right. But then when you go down far enough, then we'll want to move the camera down. Like what I'm thinking is, let's say you're this blue person and you jump up and down, right? So at no point when you jump should the camera go up and down, right? That's the frustrating part. So we want to have kind of these thresholds where if you're up high enough in a camera space, we will adjust the camera. And if you're down low enough, we'll adjust the camera down. Hmm. So what happens if you just keep going down and um, you reach the ground right here, kind of where you started? So what we would want, I think, is the original magenta box. But that doesn't work because our code kind of wants to keep the player centered, right? So we said like as you go down, we want to see, like imagine there were actually like stairs here, right? Now you're here, there's this like stair over here. And so if we have the magenta camera, we're actually not going to see the stairs down, right? This is going to be right at the bottom of the screen. We're going to see this thing we're standing on, and then we're just going to see nothing, right? So we don't know if we go there, are we going to fall? What's going to happen? So in this case, we kind of do want camera to track down. So I think part of the issue is hmm, I think maybe part of the issue is that on our map, when we start, we're actually, we build our floor kind of up here. And if we actually build it down here at the bottom, then we can say that that's like the absolute floor, right? Like the camera actually just can't show further down than that because there is nothing there. And if you're going up or down, like if you're going up from there, then you actually do want to be in, the middle of the screen because, you might be going up or down. I can't think of any other way to handle that. So actually, I think maybe then what we have is just fine. what we have is just fine, and really the only problem is the map. Let's try something like this. Move kind of our map all the way down. If we have something like this, like this, and like this. So we can't have our hole here because you can't go down. But I don't know, maybe we can do this. Okay, so we're gonna be here. And this means that we want to start, somewhere here. Oh, let's put some crystals too. Put a crystal here, put a crystal here. Power generator. Could in theory, like maybe put ourselves here and then have code that finds us on the map, and that's where we spawn. But I don't think we really need to do that. So all we need to do is now change where we start. So the x is still 64, but we're going to start way, way, way lower down, right? So y-axis increases down. So how many screens down do we go? 4, I think, right? Nope, too far, or not far enough. Max. What's going on? One, two, three, 4. 4 screens down is where we want to start. Now we actually should be falling. Oh, I know what's up. So with PICO-8 with sprites and the map, basically the last 2 sprite sheets. So you can kind of see it here. The last 2 sprite sheets and the bottom part of the map are actually overlapping in memory. So you can either use that memory for sprites or you can use it for the map. I think for our game, we're not going to have that many sprites. There's not that many kind of objects that we have in the game. So, the first 2 sprite sheets are going to be just fine. But I want to have a really big map because exploration is going to be a very key part of the game. So we're not going to use these 2 sprite sheets, but we're going to be using the bottom half of the map for the map. And that means that when we draw the map, by default, it just draws the top part. But we actually want to draw the entire thing. So right here. Okay, that's it. So so these are the parameters to the map call. if you just call the map, it just draws the top half of the map by default because it doesn't know if you're going to be using the bottom half for sprites or not. So it just kind of does the safe thing and draws the top half. But here are all the parameters. So actually take a look at them because I don't think I've scanned this documentation, but I actually haven't gotten into detail for it. So draw section of the map starting from cell X, cell Y, right? So that's 0, 0 for us. At screen position as X, X, Y. Okay, so that's also 0, 0. We'll be mapping the cell 0, 0 to the top of the, not top of the screen because this, well, yeah, top of the screen. Not sure what to call that. We call that space. Because 0, 0 in like the world space. If cell width and cell height are not specified. Okay, yeah, so this determines how many sprite cells we take from the map. Yeah, so we don't have to draw like the entire map. Like in theory, the map could be different chunks, like maybe different rooms. They could be like different sizes, and we can kind of like copy paste the map using this map function and assemble things. But right now we're just using it in a very straightforward way. So 128 by 64, and guess what? We actually have constants for those. Map height. Layers is an 8-bit field. When it is specified, only sprites with matching flags are drawn. Okay, so we could use flags to toggle which part of the map is drawn. That's an interesting feature. We're not going to use it right now. Maybe in the future, we can think of some way to use it. Okay, so this works. Wait, what? Wait. Oh, right. Because map height 64 now. Oh, so this is great. Oh, this is interesting, right? So you can kind of now see that the game is a little laggy. This is because we have a loop here, make animations. We have a loop that, sorry, not make animations, that just happens in the beginning. We have update NMs. And inside there, we're processing the power, right? And we're going through every cell on the map. And I'm guessing that now gets a little expensive, and like expensive in terms of CPU. So it's running a bit slower, and that's why we're seeing the choppiness. So let's do false just to confirm. Yeah. So right now very smooth, really fine. And if we have this, okay, now it's like pretty choppy. So every fourth frame, we do this pretty expensive thing, and it gets choppy. Okay, I will just comment it out for now. So we're running smoothly. And then when we refactor the power and transmission, we're going to come back here. Okay, so I think this fixes the camera. Well, let's see. Nope. No, because we're not So we're clipping the camera when it goes like too far up or too far to the left. But we also need to clip it when it goes too far to the right or too far down. So min, it will be map height times 8 minus 128. So map height is the number of cells we have in our entire map times 8 gives us the number of pixels we have in an entire map. So we want the lowest possible y coordinate for the camera to be at the very bottom of the map minus 128, which is the screen height. So that way the camera can never go lower, kind of where the bottom edge will be lower than the bottom of the map. Got to close a parenthesis. This part, and this is going to be the same thing, but for width times 8 minus 128. Perfect. Okay. So, well, okay. So here it's good. You know, we're jumping, cameras and jerking around. But now when we're here, it gets a little jerky. So actually, we haven't quite fixed our issue. So let's think what do we want to do here. One thing we can do in theory is something like, you know, we don't move the camera, but instead we say where we want the camera to be, and then we move it smoothly in that direction. So the camera is kind of tracking, the camera is kind of lagging behind where it's supposed to go, and that would make it smoother. Does that make sense? Here, let me add some more blocks. So we get a bit more things to play with. Like this. This out. So we're going up here. Right? So it's nice that the camera tracks us upwards, but it's just feels a little clunky. Hello. Who is this? Do I know you? LS45 says hello. Yeah, if you're just joining, we're building up on where we left off last time, working through kind of cleaning up the code, and currently we're working on camera tracking. So the issue is that when we were jumping, the camera tracks us perfectly and it jerks around. So ideally it would be smoother. And I'm trying to figure out of a way to do it. let's try this idea. Since I'm not coming up with anything else, let's just try this idea that I have. So we're actually going to have CX CY track CX CY is going to be um, where we actually want, well, sorry, CXUI is going to be where the camera actually is. And then we're going to have target CX and target CY. And that's where we want the camera to be. So right here, we're still going to put the camera at CX CY, but we're going to modify, so it's the target CX CY that's going to be following the player. And CX CY is what the camera is. So right now, oh, you can actually jump 3 blocks high. I didn't realize that. And yeah, like we get stuck. We can get stuck like this. So that's something we'll fix later. Oh, and well, I remember when we do the collision, let's check the collision upwards. So when we jump, if we hit something, if we hit the ceiling, we don't go through it. So okay, so right now the camera doesn't track us. So let's add the code for that. So simplest way I can think of was to do something like smoothing into it. So CX is, so we're going to basically take, now I'm just going to hard code it. So we're going to take 95% of our current camera position X and kind of mix in 5% of where we want to be. So every frame, we're essentially moving 5% closer to where the target for the camera is. And we'll see if 5% is too fast or too slow. So running around. Oh, this is interesting. Something about that feels very, so it is smooth, but it just feels like, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels like kind of jerky. Um, oh, here's actually something. We don't need to do this for the x-axis, because on the x-axis we just always want to be in the center, right? We don't have to worry about this. We can't jump basically in the x-axis, so we don't have this problem. So let's just say cx equals target cx. Okay, so now there is none of the jerkiness when we move left to right. And when we go up, oh, when we go up, oh, okay, okay. So It's interesting, right? Like the vertical movement is the same, but it doesn't feel as jerky. Hello. So somebody's asking, are you sure you're broadcasting screen or something? I can only see your webcam and a fancy background, but it seems like some coding is going on. Oh, thank you. What is happening, Twitch? Still figuring out how to use it. So thanks for asking. Let me see if I can fix that. Full screen application. Share screen. Oh, okay. Does this fix it? Let's see. Let me open it up. Fixed for a second, but now still in the background. Yeah, thank you. Well, somehow I had it working last time. Let's see. Edit layout. Edit. Screen. Done. What is going on? Do I need to restart my stream? Is that it? Oh. Yeah, sorry about this. I didn't realize it wasn't actually sharing my screen. Now I can't quite figure out what's up. I'm using Twitch Studio Beta, which maybe I shouldn't be using their beta software. I'm kind of disappointed. This is their like official way to stream that they're trying to push, and apparently it's more like alpha than beta. Oh, maybe that's what's going on. So there's wallpaper. What now? Can you see anything now, or is it just now like purple color? No, I think, yeah, it's just, yeah, purple screen. Okay. Um, okay, let me end the stream and I'll try just restarting everything on my end. And then hopefully that'll fix it.